Welcome to Terra Turas, the Metaphysical Round Table. 5 professional readers coming together, including Brenda Lynn, Heather Lynn, Jamie Gibson, Reverend Pat Beers, Michael, and most importantly, you, the audience. Walk with us as we cover different aspects of the metaphysical and spiritual sides of life. Bring together our insight, experience, and discussion to a roundtable event. And now, here is tonight's host.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This is just a quick little message from me about what gratitude means to me. And this is something that for a long time in my life, I had some grappling with to do this because it was really hard for me to look for the silver lining for myself on things. But I found over time that the more that I could put myself into any little thing that I was grateful for, I had little miracles starting to happen in my life. Things started happening the way that I was hoping that they would. So I tried to make it a game, but I will admit I still do struggle sometimes. Like everybody, we're all human, right? So I would suggest to you, try to do for just like 10 minutes an hour when you're having a really bad day or a bad time, whatever, just try for 10 to 15 minutes an hour, immersing yourself in like a memory or something that you remember that made you feel really good, or something that you want to see happen, but stay in that place as if it's already happened and be happy and grateful for it. Because I feel the more that you do that, that just opens up a whole giant vortex for the universe to just dump more of that onto you instead of dumping more of the other stuff that you weren't feeling so good about, right? So my suggestion is play a gratitude game that way. And during this holiday season, I know a lot of people aren't able to be with each other because of, everybody living all over the place. And we've got all kinds of weird stuff happening, in different places in the country right now too. But try to remember to stay in those places, go back to memories when you were little kids that made you feel all special. Today I was walking through a store and I had no intention of buying anything, but I just walked through this warehouse kind of store that had all these different Christmas decorations and different color schemes and all that kind of thing. And I just found myself remembering my grandmothers. I kept remembering my mother, who Christmas was her thing. I mean, anybody would come to our house and, oh my gosh, you thought that, Griswold guy, I'm blanking on the name, but my mom could outdo him, but she did it in a classy way, not in a gaudy way. But I found myself walking down the aisles and just thinking, oh, I remember that. And, oh, my grandma did something like this. And it just felt really good. It was just a little time out for me, Didn't buy anything, which was a good thing right now. But it helped me get back into that feeling of what it really means to be grateful for your life, to be grateful for the people in your life, whether they're here now or if they've passed, they're still with you. And just those little memories, it was like my grandmothers and my mother were walking down the aisles with me. It was a fun little game. So, whatever you can try to do, that's going to help you make those miracles for yourself. So with that in mind, I'm trying to think of some other fun stuff to do. I think that people just try too hard to make it into something complicated to create gratitude. And it's not a complicated thing. Little crazy little things is all it needs to be. So just You don't have to have money to do it. You don't have to have anything around. You can do it by yourself, you know. Just go look at the trees and marvel at them. Look at them from the eyes of somebody who's never seen something like that, or somebody, what it would feel like if you were, you know, you had been blind all of your, or not blind, colorblind all of your life. And all of a sudden now you get to see colors, you know, and look at it from that perspective. You're going to find yourself getting into this just tingly, excited, happy place that you can't help but just dance around a little bit in your car or whatever, because colors are amazing. And, you know, life is pretty amazing. It's challenging, but it's pretty amazing. So find those little things. Even I've been through some of the darkest places in my life. I really have. So I get it. But I also know how important it is to go to that place of gratitude for 10 minutes an hour. If you have to fake it, even pretend, get yourself there. And pretty soon you're actually going to feel it. And it's going to change your day. It's going to change your month. It's going to change your year. It's going to change your life the more that you do it. So have fun with it.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Gosh, thinking about gratitude, I always feel like gratitude is, there's two components to it. One is feeling gratitude and feeling grateful and thankful, and then there's taking action and what that gratitude is. I'm grateful for a lot of things. My family, my kids, my grandkids, and I'm grateful for my jobs. I'm grateful for this show. And so to follow that all the way through, I need to take action. And so that means that I show gratitude by doing things that are grateful. And not just necessarily expressing it, but, you know, trying to be there for my family and friends, and show up when I'm needed. I love random acts of kindness. I always appreciate those from others. One time, a friend of mine was doing a random act of kindness. She didn't know I was the one in the next car, but it was at a tollway in Florida, and she was doing sort of a pay it forward thing, and she paid for my toll, you know. So sometimes it's nice to do that, or buy the person behind you in a drive-through a cup of coffee, or offer something, you know, to someone in need. That's basically what gratitude means to me. It means action behind the feeling. And I'm always grateful for those who show kindness either to me or others. And that is about what I have on gratitude. So I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.
Hi, this is Heather Lynn from Terra Turas. I'm here with you this evening to talk to you about gratitude. So when we discussed talking about gratitude, the moment the thought came to mind, I already had a story picked out. I have a very special relationship with the gratitude in my life. You see, prior to my spiritual awakening, I was very, very sick. My autoimmune disease was at an all-time high. I had 2 small children, and there were days that I couldn't walk from the couch to the kitchen table without struggling to breathe. And I was feeling very depressed and just kind of hopeless at this point. And I was very young. And a very dear woman who became my mentor, by the name of Mindy, allowed me to come stay at her house for a weekend. And she was living with breast cancer at the time. She has since passed away. But at the time, she was in the midst of this healing journey of chemotherapy, and just tons and tons of medications. If you know anybody who's gone through cancer, then you've seen it firsthand. So here's this beautiful woman. My family was going through a huge transition at the time. And like I said, my physical body and my mind were not in the best state. And I was staying with her during the weekend, and I kept having to go up and down these stairs. And I would get to the top and I would be so exhausted. And I was really down on myself about it. And then at the same time, here's this woman struggling with breast cancer. And she looks at me and she says, Heather, you just have to be grateful. You need to be grateful that there's dirt on the floor, because it means your kids played outside and they enjoyed the day. You need to be grateful for those dirty clothes on the floor, because it means that you guys have clothes to wear, okay? And it sounds really simple, and it was the thing that absolutely changed my life. Here's this beautiful woman with grandchildren to enjoy and a whole life to live ahead of her, and she's very, very ill. I mean, you talk about me struggling to get up and down those steps. She just kept going, you know? And I'm like, Heather, it made me feel kind of selfish. But I needed to have that experience, because it shifted my entire mindset. It shifted my entire life. Because every day when I woke up, I decided to be grateful. And not long after I had this conversation with her and got to spend an amazing weekend with her, I was at the zoo with my family and my 2 young children. And I was walking behind, and I was way behind everybody else. And I was like, man, I really wish I could run with my kids. I really wish I could catch up. And mid-thought, it was like I could hear her in my head. And I was like, you know what? The sun is shining, and you are at the zoo with your family. And your kids are enjoying it, and you're getting to see the looks on their faces. You need to take this moment, and you need to be grateful. And it was that shift in perception of my life, that shift of thinking, that completely changed my life. I would take an entire day to explain all the miracles that happened in my life after I shifted my own thinking to gratitude. It didn't matter how sick I was. It didn't matter how I didn't feel well or that I was depressed. None of that mattered. I was here. I was alive. Like I said, the sun was shining. I had these beautiful babies that I'm blessed with. And it was truly the best shift I could ever have thought to happen to me. And it didn't happen overnight. It's still just a continuous process of always being aware of your thoughts. Am I being grateful? Is there something in this situation that I need to be grateful for? And again, when we take a minute, when you're feeling super frustrated or hopeless, all you need to do is take a deep breath, ground yourself, grow those roots out of the bottom of your feet, deep down into the earth. Come into the present moment and say, what is this trying to teach me? And what is it in this situation that I can choose to be grateful for? It's a process. I do it every single day. There are days that I still struggle, and I have to remind myself. And when I do, I can hear the beautiful Mindy Mack in my head saying, Heather, you just need to be grateful. And I can see the dirt on the floor, and I can see the clothes, and it takes me back to that time, to that it was literally a paradigm shift in my life, and I'm truly grateful for that. So today I'm going to leave you, I'm just going to ask you to choose to be grateful. Choose gratitude, and you will be shocked at the miracles that happen in your life. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey everybody, it's Michael from Terra Turas. As well as everybody else, taking just a few minutes to stop and talk about gratitude. Since we're in the season of Thanksgiving, everybody stops in, takes a few minutes, and they think about things that they're grateful for. And quite typically, we come across the fact that we gather together, and it's family dinner time, and things that are going on around in our lives. We drop all of our troubles, and we stop, and we're very grateful for all of the smaller things that we have in life. But when we stop and take a look at gratitude in and of itself, it becomes a little bit of a different meaning. So when I stop and look at gratitude as it is, it starts with when you first wake up in the morning, taking a minute just to say, I'm up. Your feet hit the floor, or you get your day started. Take just a few minutes to say, I'm thankful for. If it was a good night's sleep, if you had a pleasant dream, whatever it is, something small. And being able to build one on top of the other, when we start focusing on things that we're grateful for, we actually stop focusing on things that upset us or make us upset. But that's a secondary part of gratitude. Being able to turn around and even finding the people that are being difficult in our life, or things that are not as pleasant. And we'll take the difficult person possibly that we work with, or possibly that we've run into, somebody that has created a difficult time in our life. In looking at that, we can actually be grateful for that person instead of choosing the other side and being upset about things. We can turn around and say, yes, that person was a real pain in my butt. However, I'm grateful for the fact that they showed me exactly what I don't want to look like or what I don't want to be. So we can take even the most negative things in life and turn around and find something to be grateful for out of that negative aspect. And again, when we start to pile up the little thoughts of thinking what you're grateful for and showing gratitude for that, it changes your life. Because you start to become much more focused and aware of the positive aspects that you have. Now, I've been right where many people have either been or are in life, having poor finances, having poor relationships, life not going well. And in those darkest of times, it's very difficult to turn around and say, I'm grateful for something, because oftentimes we are very upset, not happy. Things aren't going well. Finances, the bills are due. But if we can find a way to stop and be grateful for something even small. You get up in the morning, if the house is warm, that's an honestly good thing. If you're able to get up and move around and start your day, it's a perfect thing to be grateful for. It doesn't have to be huge things. Starting out and being grateful for the small things in life, the little things that matter. Everything is built and made of something small, many small things coming together to make something very large. So when we can, taking the time to stop and be grateful for friends, family, our job, our insecurities in life. They do all add up over just a little bit of time. And again, when your perception changes and you start to really become focused and aware of all of the good things that are going on in your life, all the things that you have to be grateful for, it changes how life happens around you. So instead of that person that ticks you off, you're grateful for them, that no longer really affects you. It does not bring you down. That does not add to your day when you go home. It doesn't add to a fight or a conversation later on. It's like, wow, I'm glad that I don't look like that. And that's it. That negativity washes out right then and there. So take the time during Thanksgiving holiday, in the morning when you get up, just stop and be mindful of something small to be grateful for. And again, when you go to bed, that feeling of gratitude will go throughout your entire life. And it will start to attract even more things to be grateful for. So if you would, during this holiday season for Thanksgiving, take just a few minutes. Be mindful. Be grateful. But I hope that everybody has a very serious, happy Thanksgiving.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, Michael. And we're going to have nice weather this year, I guess. So don't have to worry about the snowstorms of the past. And I've been thinking a whole lot about what I'm thankful for. And my prayer every morning and every night is, I thank Mother, Father, God for making me an instrument of the work and allowing me to give people the information they need to make the decisions they need to make, or to bring them peace in some way. That's the biggest thing, to be able to give a family some peace, either because someone's been killed or a drug overdose or a suicide or anything that helps them. And my friends have just been so wonderful to me. I have a lot of friends who work as healers and do Reiki in many bars and all these things. And that managed to keep me going. And when my husband passed in February 2009, on our son's birthday, I managed to break both my ankles at the same time. Lived in the same house 35 years. Coming down those 5 little steps from the garage into the house, I thought I sprained my ankle. Well, a little more than that. So the doctors couldn't believe how quickly I healed and how well I got along. But that was because of my friends sending me healing energy and sending me Reiki and whatnot. I have 2 crazy dogs. One's going to be 11 in March, and the other one's going to be 8 in January. I have a Peekapoo that's going to be 8. Lab Shepherd's going to be 11. They're a lot of company. I've always had pets my whole life, and I think they heal us also. They understand, and they do hold grudges, and they do talk back. And was married to my husband for almost 41 years, and he passed of pancreatic cancer. And he was a research chemist. He had a master's degree in inorganic chemistry. I'm a coal miner's kid who graduated high school till I came to Ohio in 1968. And he finally got it. Between September and February, the kids would come to me and go, "Mom, cancer's affecting Dad's brain, right?" And I go, "No, why do you say that?" He began to understand what I've been trying to tell him for 43 years. The whole time I knew him. And he began to see angels. He began to see relatives who had passed. And I was so happy that he came to that understanding that there was more than what he thought, the book learned and all that. And that's part of the opening people's lives and hearts up to knowing that there is something more out there. A dear friend of mine's mom passed last night. I didn't sleep because I knew that it was coming. She'd been sick for quite a while. And at 4 o'clock this morning, I got the text that she had passed. And it's just like, it's sad, but it's such a happy experience because she immediately came to me and said, "I don't hurt anymore. I can breathe." Her husband had passed many, many years ago. He was there with her. And the girls were each with her, one on each side of her bed. And it's just that she would reach out to me at that time. I was thankful for. I mean, I know what it's like. I've been with my husband, my biological mom, several family members and friends who, in their time of passing, there's a little bit of fear, there's a little bit of anger, there's a little bit of, oh my gosh, what's going on? And to be able to help them to find peace in some way is just absolutely wonderful. I'm thankful for all the things that go on in my life every day, good, bad, and the ugly, because somewhere there's a learning experience in there. And it's a lot of times I'm going to meet someone or I'm going to have contact with someone that I've known for a long time, maybe not talked to, and I'm able to help them find some meaning in what's going on or to find some peace with it. The peace part is the thing that I appreciate the most. And it's so funny, through all the years of having done this, I've been talking to dead people since I was 7. I'm 72 now, so just a few years. But and these young people now, people don't look at them and go, "You're crazy. What are you doing talking about that?" Well, how did that happen? They have a support group now. They have people who accept this as a real thing. Um, you know, and I imagine you did it too. We went into hiding. We didn't talk to anybody because nobody wanted to understand what was going on with us. And then you start going, am I crazy? I mean, in my second near death, I was 31. I told my husband I had a nervous breakdown. I had too much anesthetic too fast, and I had a nervous breakdown. He should put me in Fallsview, which at that time was a mental institution up in Cuyahoga Falls. And later, 20 years later, I was driving past and it turned it into a senior citizens housing unit. Can you imagine with that building? It's not that anymore. I don't know how long that lasted, but it's not that anymore. But it's just interesting, very interesting. So I think we all have, and if you've traveled outside the United States, I've been to Egypt. The poverty is unreal. What was so funny was people would be living in essentially huts. They look like they were mud huts, and yet there'd be a BMW parked in the driveway. You know, you'd see a motor scooter with 4 people on it. Dad's driving, got a baby in front of him, got a kid behind him, and mama's on the back. Fascinating. We do not really appreciate all that we have, and we should be thankful for. So it's very interesting. I've been very fortunate to be able to do all the things I've done. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Put the cell phones in the basket by the door, turn them off so you don't hear the ringers. Talk to your family. You know, we're here today, but heaven knows if we're going to be here tomorrow. So every day you wake up and go, good morning, Lord, or good Lord, it's morning. So just try to stay positive and be thankful for all the people and all the good things you have in your life. Happy Thanksgiving.